The moment Malcolm walked into that club, everything changed, but no one knew just how close to death he really was. And before the night was over, secrets would explode, threats would turn dangerous, and one man would decide to cross a line that could destroy lives forever. Because while one family was fighting to save a life, another was quietly preparing to ruin one. At the GCAC, the atmosphere felt normal on the surface, calm, routine, safe, but underneath, tension was already building. Lily Winters wasn't expecting anything unusual, she just wanted a quiet moment. Maybe a quick bite, maybe a conversation that didn't feel heavy for once. Instead, she walked straight into Devon and Nate. They were mid-conversation, relaxed but alert, the way people are when life has been throwing too many surprises lately. Devon's face softened when he saw Lily. Nate gave a small nod, calm as always. For a second it almost felt like old times. But only for a second. Because Lily wasn't staying, she hesitated, then explained she had somewhere to be. Someone to meet. That alone was enough to trigger Devon. His expression shifted instantly. Suspicion, concern, a quiet edge. He didn't ask directly, but the question was hanging in the air. Was it Cain? Lily didn't answer that. She didn't need to, because seconds later, the answer walked in. Malcolm Winters. The moment he appeared, everything shifted again. Devon's tension faded into surprise. Nate straightened. Lily froze for a heartbeat. Then smiled. A real smile, because Malcolm wasn't supposed to be here, not like this, not unannounced, and yet familiar, calm, almost too calm, like someone holding something back. After a few quick exchanges, Malcolm turned to Lily. He didn't waste time, he needed to speak with her, privately. There was something in his tone that made it impossible to refuse, not urgent, but serious. So Lily followed him, downstairs, into the jazz lounge, away from everyone else. Upstairs, Devon watched them go. And just like that, the suspicion came back. Stronger, Nate noticed too. Neither of them said much at first. But the silence between them was heavy, because something wasn't right. And they could both feel it. Meanwhile, far away from quiet conversations and family concern, a completely different kind of storm was building, on Cane Ashby's train. The report hit the table like a final verdict. Numbers, losses, collapse, arabesque was finished. There was nothing left. The employee standing across from Cain looked nervous. Careful, like he knew this wasn't just bad news. It was dangerous news. Cain didn't react right away. He just stared at the report, still, silent. Then slowly, he looked up, and something in his eyes had changed. Not panic, not fear, something colder. He asked one question: what options were left? The employee hesitated, then said the only thing that made sense: there were none. That should have been the end of it. But for Cain, it was just the beginning, because losing everything didn't scare him, it triggered him. His jaw tightened slightly, his voice dropped. If there was nothing left to build, then he would take what others had already built. Simple, direct, brutal. The employee froze. He didn't understand at first. Then he did. Kidnapping, ransom, crime. Cain wasn't talking about rebuilding, he was talking about taking, and suddenly, the room didn't feel safe anymore. The employee shook his head, tried to reason, tried to pull Cain back from the edge. But Cain didn't move, didn't soften, didn't hesitate. Instead, he made it worse. He said this was how business worked now, in Genoa City. That line changed everything, because this wasn't a desperate idea, this was a decision. The employee refused, flat out, and just like that, he was fired. No warning, no second chance, just gone. Cain didn't even look at him again, because in his mind, the plan was already moving forward. Back at the GCAC, Devon and Nate were still watching everything unfold from a distance. And then, the last person they wanted to see showed up. Cain. He walked in like he belonged there, like nothing had changed. Like no one had a reason to hate him. Devon's reaction was instant, cold, direct, controlled anger. He didn't waste time pretending. He told Cain exactly what he thought. He wanted him gone, out of Genoa City, out of their lives. But Cain didn't flinch, didn't argue, didn't defend himself. He simply said, he wasn't going anywhere. That line hit harder than anything else, because it wasn't loud, it wasn't emotional, it was certain. Devon stepped closer, his voice sharpened. If Cain's plans involved Lily or their family, he would personally take him down. No hesitation, no second chances. The threat was clear, real, and meant. For a brief moment, it looked like Cain might push back, might escalate. But instead, he did something unexpected. He pulled away from the conflict, said he wanted nothing to do with Lily, nothing to do with her family business. That should have calmed things down. But it didn't. Because Devon didn't believe him, not for a second. And deep down, neither did Nate. Because Cain wasn't the kind of man who walked away. Not really, not completely. Down in the jazz lounge, Malcolm stood quietly for a moment, looking at Neil Winter's portrait, drawing strength, preparing himself. Lily watched him carefully. Something was wrong, she could feel it now. And when Malcolm finally turned to her, the truth came out. Soft, but devastating. He had been diagnosed. Aplastic anemia. The words landed slowly, then all at once, Lily's world shifted. Her breath caught. Because this wasn't something small, this was life-threatening, and Malcolm didn't sugarcoat it. He needed a bone marrow transplant. Without it, there was no future. Lily didn't cry right away. She didn't panic. She listened. Because she knew what this moment meant. She remembered losing Neil, remembered that helpless feeling, that emptiness. And now, she had a chance to stop it from happening again. This time, she could do something. Her voice steadied. She told Malcolm she would help. Whatever it took. Because she wasn't going to lose him too. Not like that. Not again. For the first time since he arrived, Malcolm allowed himself to breathe, to believe, just a little, but they both knew something else. This couldn't get out. Not yet. Not until they had a plan. So when they went back upstairs, they acted normal, smiled, spoke casually. Devon and Nate didn't notice anything at first, but something still felt off. Because secrets always leave a trace. And tonight, too many secrets were already in motion. Holden Novak had no idea that his life was about to shatter, not because of something he did, but because of a truth that had been buried for years. And standing right in front of him was the woman who was finally going to reveal it. At Crimson Lights, the tension wasn't subtle, it was sharp, immediate, and impossible to ignore. Holden checked his phone again. Another message from his mum. She was late. On her way. Nothing unusual on the surface. But something about it felt off. Like the calm before something big. Then Audra appeared. And just like that, the calm disappeared. Their argument started fast. No build-up, no hesitation, because this wasn't new, this was unfinished business. Claire Newman, Los Angeles. Secrets that refused to stay buried. Holden's tone shifted quickly. He wasn't playing along anymore, he wasn't avoiding the truth. He was getting close to saying it. Out loud. And Audra felt it instantly. Her reaction wasn't defensive. It was threatening, cold, precise. She leaned in just enough to make her point clear. If he told Claire everything, she would make his life miserable, not someday. Immediately, there was no doubt in her voice, no hesitation. This wasn't a warning, it was a promise. Holden didn't back down right away, but he didn't push forward either, because something about Audra in that moment felt dangerous. And then, everything escalated. Because someone else heard it. Stephanie Simmons. She didn't hesitate, didn't observe quietly. She stepped in, demanded answers. Her presence alone shifted the energy, sharp, protective, unyielding. She looked at Audra like she already knew enough, like she didn't trust her, and didn't plan to. The tension between them was instant. Audra straightened, controlled herself. But the edge was still there. Holden saw where this was going, and he moved fast, smoothed things over, played it down, said they were joking. That this was just how they interacted. Not serious, not dangerous, just harmless tension. Stephanie didn't buy it. Not completely, but she allowed it, for now. Because she wasn't here for Audra, she was here for her son. Eventually, Audra extended her hand. A polite gesture, calculated. Stephanie hesitated. Just long enough to show she meant it. Then accepted. But the message was clear. This wasn't trust. This was tolerance. Temporary. Once Audra stepped away, the real conversation began. Stephanie turned to Holden. Her expression changed. Softer, but still serious. She told him directly she didn't like Audra, didn't trust her, not even a little. Holden tried to brush it off, minimize it. But Stephanie wasn't distracted, because that wasn't why she came, and they both knew it. The air shifted again, quieter, heavier. Holden asked the question, was this about her health? Stephanie answered immediately, no, that wasn't it. But what she said next hit harder. She had something to tell him, something that would change everything. Holden felt it. That moment before the truth. That pause where everything slows down. Stephanie took a breath, gathered herself, because once she said it, there was no taking it back. She looked at him, really looked at him, and said it was time for him to learn the truth about his father. Those words didn't explode. They didn't crash. They settled, heavy, unavoidable. Holden's expression shifted slowly, confusion first, then tension, because deep down, he already knew, whatever this was, it wasn't small, and whatever she was about to say would change everything. Across town the night was still moving, still building, still tightening around every secret, every threat, every hidden plan. Phyllis Summers was already celebrating. In her office, she closed a deal, clean, confident, successful, and she made sure Lauren knew it. She called her, gloated just enough. Made it clear she didn't need anyone else. Didn't need backup, didn't need help. Because she was winning, at least that's what she believed. But in Genoa City, winning never lasts. Not without a cost. Soon she headed to the athletic club, where everything was already in motion. She crossed paths with Malcolm briefly, just enough for a conversation. Just enough to read the room. Then her focus shifted. To Cain. Because of course it did. Phyllis didn't hold back. She never did. She pushed, questioned, assumed, said out loud what others were only thinking, that Cain was still here for revenge. Against her, against Lily, against Victor Newman. Each name hit like a challenge. But Cain didn't react the way she expected. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. He just let the tension sit there, unresolved. Because sometimes, silence is louder and more dangerous. Meanwhile, Malcolm had one more thing to do. Before the night was over, he found Cain, and this time, there was no softness, no warmth. Just a clear message. Stay away. No one wanted him here, not Lily, not the family, not anyone. Cain listened, but didn't respond right away, because for him, the decision had already been made. And no warning was going to change it. Back at Crimson Lights, the moment had arrived. Stephanie looked at Holden, and finally, she started to speak. The truth about his father was no longer hidden, and whatever she was about to say was about to break everything he thought he knew. So the real question is, when that truth comes out, who will Holden become? And more importantly, who will he turn against?